Welcome to Finance Friday. I'm Carrie Jacobson with Jacobson Family Law, where we keep the drama out of your divorce. And today we're going to be talking about monthly budgets. So in every divorce, it is absolutely critical that you create a monthly budget. This is going to help you in many different ways. And the main way is that it's going to set you up to know exactly what your monthly expenses are going to be, what your monthly income is going to be, and it will also help you negotiate whether or not you need alimony or financial support, whether or not you're going to pay alimony, and if so, how much you have available to do so, as well as to negotiate what child support might be. And how that might be handled. So today we're going to talk about the monthly budget, and I'm going to give you an example of things that we regularly see in a monthly budget. This is often a document that can be used not only in a litigation setting. If you are going through a court matter, you are likely to be asked by your attorney to create this type of budget. Sometimes attorneys refer to it as a long form financial statement, but also in the out-of-court resolution space, mediation, settlement negotiations. It's a helpful tool no matter which divorce process you happen to be going through. So feel free to follow along. I'm going to show you kind of what we have used as an example in cases we have had before. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those in the comments and I will answer those as we go. So give me just a second to share my screen and we will pull up the appropriate document. Okay, so this is a sample budget. We have it here in an Excel spreadsheet. And what I really love about that is that it easily calculates the information for you. If you happen to have children and you are doing this for court process or your divorce in court, I would recommend that you include your kids' names and ages here. But this is just a sample of what we regularly see. Now, many people have questions about how to fill out this form. You may not have all of the information at your fingertips. Many of the pieces of information you may have, sometimes you may have to guess or make estimates. So if you are currently, possibly planning on moving into an apartment out of the marital home, and this may be a sample of what it might look like for you. So these are all monthly amounts, and you will see that it's broken down into self expenses that you have for yourself and expenses that you may have for the children. Now, if you are, regardless of whether or not you have kids living with you or not, your rent expense is going to be the same. So you're not going to attribute a portion of this expense to the children. Likewise, these other expenses are going to be the same whether or not kids are living in your home, either part-time or full-time. Again, these are just sample expenses, but you're going to be looking at what they are on a monthly basis, not what they are on an annual basis. If you know what they are on an annual basis, you can make that a little simpler for you to fill in. So let's say you were paying taxes and the taxes were, as an example, $6,000 a year. You could say $6,000 divided by 12, and the Excel spreadsheet would give you what the total is per month. Things that attorneys are always on the lookout for when we are analyzing these types of financial statements is whether or not these expenses are reasonable. Is $335 reasonable for a cell phone plan? To me, that seems like it could be a little high. Now, if you are paying a portion of this, both for yourself and for the kids, maybe your expense is only $150, right? But maybe you are paying a portion for your children's cell phone bills, so maybe that is another $150. So you could put that there. Another As you can see, this sample has a second home, and this worksheet does give you the option to fill in information as if you had a second home. So you would do the same thing. You would put your mortgage, your electricity. If you had a water bill here, that's listed. If there are major repairs, now that's something else as attorneys we're kind of looking at. Are you really doing repairs of this amount or replacing furniture and furnishings at $100 a month? So you want to be accurate when you are putting this information in, because if it's in court, in a litigation space, the other attorney's role is to kind of poke holes through this, and you're going to have to show documentation that supports each of these numbers. So that's something to be mindful of. When I was doing litigation, I would regularly tell our clients, if you put a number on here, I want to have the third-party documentation to support that, so that you can prove that those numbers are accurate. If you're in the negotiation space, maybe you don't necessarily need that, but the other side may say, okay, well, that's just not a reasonable number, especially when we're talking about how to negotiate alimony. Other expenses here that are going to walk you through the worksheet so you see what types of things are in here. Food, household items. So as you can see, we've got food for the individual, but we also have a food expense for the children. And obviously we don't always go to the grocery store with that expectation, but that is something that you can kind of divide out. Here, you may have a health insurance expense, both for yourself and an amount for the children, as well as other out-of-pocket medical expenses. These are primarily expenses related to children. So as you can see, there's tuition, school lunches, maybe they have extracurricular activities. If they were going to private school, that might be in here as well, and childcare. Some of these things may be estimates. You may not have a clear picture of what vacations are going to be, but you can say, well, last year I spent $4,000 on vacations, and then divide that by 12. No, here you can see that there's actually extracurriculars in 2 different places. So maybe this needs to be removed, because in this sample, they've got extracurriculars here, but they also have extracurriculars here. So the question is, are you actually spending nearly $500 a month in children's extracurricular activities? These are transportation expenses, things that you have for your vehicles. It includes your regular payment, your any repairs you may have to do, regular maintenance, your gas expense, automobile insurance, if you have to pay taxes, I'm sorry, parking fees, tolls, or take public transportation. These are gifts that you may make to other individuals. Clothing expenses, both for yourself as well as the children. Incidentals, it could be those recurring charges such as Amazon Prime, Instacart, that sort of thing. And then this may be other expenses that you may be paying. So in this example, this is money that is being paid for alimony or child support for a different case. And this will give you the total monthly expenses that you have, which is a little over $12,000 in this example. The next piece is the monthly income. So this is where you take your gross monthly income from your wage statement. You're going to deduct the amount that is coming out of your paycheck each month. So you see that you have a net, in this example, a net income of $13,500. Maybe you have other income coming in from another source, whether it's a part-time job or the like. And so this person has another $2,600 or so. And in this example, this individual has a $2,000 surplus at the end of the month. And so this is going to be used for a couple of different things. It's going to be potentially used to show this person has the ability to pay alimony if their spouse is requesting it, or that they have the ability to pay child support. So that's how this budget can be very helpful when negotiating your alimony or child support obligation or request. So if you have questions about how this might work in your situation, please let us know. We would be happy to help. And you can get samples. You can get these worksheets, these sample budget worksheets, both as a sample as well as the fillable worksheet at our stand store. If you are going through a divorce and you want to fill these in yourself, you can get those so that you can be ready for your particular divorce situation. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Again, I'm Carrie Jacobson with Jacobson Family Law, where we keep the drama out of divorce. Have a great weekend.